In a quiet village in Benin, back in the early 18th century, a boy named Thomas Fuller was born with a gift that no one in his community could quite understand. From a young age, Thomas had an extraordinary talent for numbers. He could count, calculate, and solve complex problems in his head much faster than anyone could with pen and paper. Life, however, had a different plan for Thomas. At the tender age of 14, he was captured by slave traders and shipped to America. In 1724, he found himself on a plantation in Virginia, far from his homeland and everything he had known. Despite the harsh conditions and the relentless labor, Thomas' gift with numbers never faded. Years went by, and Thomas, now known as Negro Tom or the Virginia calculator, became renowned for his mathematical abilities. Word of his talent spread, reaching even those who doubted the intellectual capabilities of African slaves. It was in the latter part of his life that Thomas' genius was put to the test by two anti-slavery campaigners, Shone and Coates. They saw in Thomas an opportunity to challenge the pervasive belief that blacks were inferior to whites in academics. One day, Shone and Coates arrived at the plantation, eager to witness Thomas' abilities firsthand. They posed several challenging questions to him. The first question was, how many seconds are there in a year and a half? Thomas closed his eyes, as if diving deep into the sea of numbers in his mind. In about 2 minutes, he answered, 47,304,000. Impressed but skeptical, they asked another question. How many seconds has a man lived if he is 70 years, 17 days, and 12 hours old? This time, Thomas took a minute and a half to respond. 2,210,500,800 seconds. One of the gentlemen, busy with his calculation, declared that Thomas was wrong, claiming the sum was not as great. Thomas, without missing a beat, corrected him. Top, Massa, you forget the leap year. When they accounted for the leap years, Thomas' answer was indeed correct. For their final question, Hatchon and Coates presented a more complex problem. Suppose a farmer was 6 souls, and each soul has 6 female pigs the first year, and they all increase in the same proportion to the end of 8 years. How many souls will the farmer then have? Thomas pondered for 10 minutes, then answered, 34,588,806. Despite a minor mistake initially caused by a misinterpretation of the question, his final answer was spot on. Hatchon and Coates were astounded. Here was a man, grey-haired and worn from a lifetime of labor, who could outcalculate the educated minds of the day. Thomas spoke fondly of his mistress, who had refused lucrative offers to sell him, and humbly expressed that it was perhaps for the best that he never received a formal education. No, Massa, he said. It is best I had no learning, for many learned men be great fools. Thomas Fuller's story spread, challenging the societal norms and igniting debates about the true intellectual potential of African slaves. He became a symbol of natural genius and a testament to the resilience and intelligence that could flourish even in the most oppressive circumstance. As he approached the end of his life in 1790, Thomas Fuller left behind a legacy that went beyond his numerical prowess. He became a beacon of hope and a powerful argument against the dehumanization of his people, providing that true genius knows no bounds or race or circumstance. His story, a blend of brilliance and humility, echoed through history, reminding the world of the extraordinary talent that can arise from even the most unlikely places. As Thomas Fuller approached the end of his life in 1790, his remarkable story continued to ripple through society. Despite the brutal institution of slavery, Thomas' legacy as the Virginia calculator left an indelible mark on the minds of many who encountered his tale. His ability to perform astounding mathematical feats under the most oppressive conditions became a symbol of the untapped potential within every human being, regardless of race or circumstance. After his death, anti-slavery campaigners used Thomas Fuller's story as a powerful tool in their fight against the institution of slavery. His life was recounted in speeches, pamphlets, and writings, serving as a testament to the intellectual capabilities of African people. The story of Thomas Fuller inspired many to question the legitimacy of a system that could so thoroughly dehumanize individuals with such remarkable talents. In the years following his death, the legend of Thomas Fuller grew. In small gatherings and large assemblies alike, abolitionists told his story, emphasizing the stark contrast between the intellectual brilliance of this enslaved African and the ignorance that perpetuated his bondage. His name became synonymous with the fight for justice and equality. One young man named Joshua was particularly moved by Thomas' story. Joshua was born into a free African-American family in the northern United States. He was deeply inspired by Thomas Fuller's legacy and decided to dedicate his life to education and the abolitionist cause. Joshua believed that by educating others, he could help dismantle the false narratives that supported slavery. In 1833, Joshua opened a school for African American children in Philadelphia. He named it the Fuller Institute for Mathematical Excellence in honor of Thomas Fuller. The school quickly became known for its rigorous curriculum and its emphasis on mathematics and the sciences. Joshua ensured that every student who walked through its door knew the story of Thomas Fuller, using his life as an example of what they could achieve despite the obstacles they faced. The Fuller Institute produced many brilliant minds who went on to contribute significantly to society. Among its graduates were teachers, engineers, and scholars who carried forward the torch of Thomas Fuller's legacy. They spread throughout the country, bringing with them a message of hope, resilience, and the undeniable power of education. As the years went by and the abolitionist movement gained momentum, the Fuller Institute became a hub for activists and intellectuals. It played a crucial role in the Underground Railroad, providing refuge and education for escaped slaves. The story of Thomas Fuller, passed down through generations, continued to inspire those fighting for freedom and equality. By the time the Civil War ended and slavery was abolished in 1865, Thomas Fuller's legacy had become a cornerstone of African American history. The Fowler Institute stood as a testament to the power of education and the enduring spirit of a man who, despite the chains of slavery, had managed to change the world with his mind. Even after the end of slavery, the work of the Fowler Institute continued. It adapted to the changing times, evolving into a renowned university that welcomed students of all backgrounds. Its mission remained the same: to uncover and nurture the potential within every individual, just as Thomas Fowler's potential had once been discovered and celebrated. In the halls of the Fowler University, a bronze statue of Thomas Fowler stood tall, his likeness forever captured with a thoughtful expression, as if lost in the depths of another complex calculation. Students and visitors alike would pause to reflect on his story, drawing inspiration from his life and the enduring message that intelligence, perseverance, and humanity know no bounds. Through the efforts of countless individuals inspired by his story, Thomas Fowler's legacy lived on, a shining example of the incredible resilience and brilliance that can emerge from even the darkest of times. His name became a beacon of hope, forever reminding the world that true genius and potential lie within everyone, waiting to be discovered and celebrated. Years turned into decades, and the Fowler University continued to flourish. The legacy of Thomas Fowler was deeply ingrained in the institution's ethos, and his story was part of the curriculum for every incoming student. The university expanded, establishing programs that range from the arts and humanities to advanced scientific research, all grounded in the belief that every individual possessed a unique and invaluable potential. One day, a young girl named Maya arrived at Fowler's University. She was shy, with a curious mind that brimmed with questions. Her family had faced generations of hardship, but they had always held onto the dream of a better future through education. Maya was determined to make the most of the opportunities before her. On her first day, she stood before the bronze statue of Thomas Fowler, marveling at the story of the man who had inspired so many. Maya excelled in her studies, particularly in mathematics. She found solace in numbers, much like Thomas had, and often spent hours in the library poring over complex problems. The story of Thomas Fowler's brilliance motivated her, especially when the challenges seemed insurmountable. She knew that if he could achieve so much under such dire circumstances, she too could overcome her obstacles. One day, while working on a particularly difficult theorem, Maya had a breakthrough. She discovered a new mathematical principle that had the potential to revolutionize the way certain calculations were performed. Her work caught the attention of professors and scholars worldwide. Maya's discovery was hailed as a significant advancement in mathematics, and she was invited to present her findings at conferences around the globe. As she stood before large audiences, Maya always began her presentation with the story of Thomas Fowler. She spoke of his extraordinary abilities, his resilience, and how his legacy had paved the way for her own achievements. Her words resonated deeply, reminding everyone that the seeds of genius could flourish in the most unexpected places. Maya's success brought renewed attention to Fowler University. Donations poured in, and the institution expanded its reach even further. They established new scholarships, outreach programs, and community projects aimed at discovering and nurturing talent in underprivileged communities. The university's mission evolved to not only educate, but also to actively seek out those who, like Thomas Fuller, had immense potential waiting to be uncovered. Years later, as Maya stood before the graduating class of Fuller University, as its new president, she reflected on the incredible journey that had brought her there. She spoke to the graduates about the importance of perseverance, the power of education, and the boundless potential within each of them. Her speech concluded with the moral lessons that Thomas Fuller's life had taught. 1. Perseverance in adversity. No matter the circumstances, resilience and determination can lead to extraordinary achievements. Thomas Fuller never gave up on his talents, despite the hardship he faced. 2. The power of education. Education is a powerful tool that can unlock the potential within every individual. It is a means to overcome barriers and achieve greatness. 3. Equality and human potential. Intelligence and talent are not confined by race or background. Every person has unique abilities that can contribute to society if given the opportunity. 4. Legacy and inspiration. The stories of those who come before us can serve as powerful motivators. Thomas Fuller's legacy inspired countless individuals to pursue their dreams and strive for excellence. 5. The importance of humility. Despite his remarkable abilities, Thomas Fuller remained humble. Recognizing one's own limitations and learning from others is essential for personal growth and success. As Maya finished her speech, the graduates rose to their feet, applauding not just for her, but for the enduring legacy of Thomas Fuller. His story had come full circle, continuing to inspire new generations to seek knowledge, embrace their potential, and make a positive impact on the world. The university that bore his name stood as a beacon of hope and a testament to the extraordinary power of the human spirit. We have come to the end of the story. If you love this video, please kindly share with your loved ones, leave us a comment on your opinion, and subscribe for another interesting video like this. Until I see you all on the next one. Bye for now.